So I wanted to talk a little bit more about autonomy, and this meme was pretty hilarious. I think if it came out when I was a kid, it would have been funny then. I guess it's a classic. It's pretty funny now. Um, I don't think it's just Asian families. I think it's I've had Jewish friends, I've had Caucasian friends, African American friends, I've had all kinds of friends who have experienced this type of um, parenting, this type of parenting style, right? Where um, the parents will withhold compliments, um, take a stern, kind of very authoritarian attitude. And I think the idea is, okay, I'm going to sacrifice my, it's okay if my kid doesn't like me, um, but I'm going to sacrifice that and raise my kid in a tough way so that he will have a better life. Okay, I think that's the logic behind it. And there are a lot of issues with this. The first thing I want to clarify is that you really, as a parent, you're not really sacrificing. You are not sacrificing anything. What you're doing is you're sacrificing the relationship. And I think that's a very important distinction to make. If you were sacrificing money, your own time, your own happiness, maybe even, um, I don't think there's any reasonable parent out there that wouldn't do this. But that's really not what you're sacrificing. The problem with this type of parenting style is that you're sacrificing the relationship, which is not good. Um, Getting a good education, going to a good college, and all that is important, but it's not that important. Certainly not as important as your relationship, which extends far beyond college. I mean, college, it's over by 22. Um, and you're going to have another 30, 40, 50 years, hopefully, with your child. And so before I get preachy, I'll stop there. Let's talk about the more important thing, autonomy. What's really happening here is that you're looking for a short-term pop, a short-term impact solution to motivate your child, and you're sacrificing the long-term autonomy of your child. Okay, not not a good trade-off. If you look closely, I'll put up, and we talk a lot about self-determination theory on this channel. If you think about what's happening, the parent is using guilt and some type of negative emotion to control the student. And that motivation falls very low on the spectrum. It's actually part of introjection, which is the second worst. It's not a good form of motivation. It's not very strong at all. Okay. If your child is in elementary school or middle school and you're using this tactic, they might get a good grade now, but by the time they get to 10th grade or 11th grade, when they really need a lot of motivation, it's going to be gone. They're not going to have the autonomy, which is the most important factor among competence, relatedness. Those are the three things that build up the three needs that must be met to generate real motivation. And without autonomy, the other two don't really matter. It's the most important thing for motivation. And if the student doesn't have that, if their need for autonomy is not being met, and they start 11th grade when they've got 5 APs and everything's a lot harder. Now maybe they're president, captain of their sports teams or clubs, extracurricular activities, and now they have to start thinking about college applications. It's not going to happen. They're not going to have the motivation. They'll just be crushed by the pressure. And at best, they'll just have low quality. You'll start seeing grades drop. They're going to be more tired all the time. They won't be sleeping well because they're stressed out. You're not going to have a good relationship with them, obviously, so they won't get the support from you. they'll be maybe perhaps venting their frustration out on you. That's the good case. Okay, the bad case, the worst case is they just get depressed. Seeing it over and over and over, and depression is debilitating. So forget about grades, forget about college, forget about activities. You're just going to have a depressed student moping around the house. I've just seen it way too many times. This is where it starts. Okay, this type of parenting style that robs students of their autonomy. So it's a funny meme, but there's a very serious warning behind it. Um, Compliment your students, okay? Compliment your kids about what they're doing well. Um, the old adage, educators, the good educators, they all know 3 to 5 compliments for every, positive remarks for every one negative. And that's all you need, right? Um, it won't make them go crazy. It won't make them go complacent. It won't make them lazy, okay? It'll motivate them, all right? Um, you can have high standards, you can have goals, you can plan, and support all of that with compliments, positive feedback, a nice big hug, all that stuff. It's so healthy and so powerful and so supportive to the students, and it'll make you so much happier, right?